Let me bring in Pavan Varma, someone who studied with Comrade Yechury in St. Stephen's College in the national capital and has had several fond memories with him. Mr. Varma, of course, this is a very tough time for his friends and family. As someone who studied with him in St. Stephen's College and also, traveled several miles with him in his political journey, what's your best memory of Comrade Yechury?
We were in contemporaries in college, although pursuing different subjects. We were also together in parliament later. I think Sitaram was the most amiable, reasonable, balanced, accessible communist leader I have ever met. He was actually a consensus maker. He never adopted a confrontationist style except on matters of non negotiable ideology. That was his lovable trait. And he had a simplicity about it right from his college days, uh, where he dressed simply, lived simply, smoked Charminar incessantly, and was the kind of dedicated, grassrooted, educated communist, CPI committed member who was a great asset to public life. I mean, I used to see him in parliament when I was there, and we were friends and we used to chat. But Sitaram Yechury always came out as a consensus builder or as one who was seeking to find a solution rather than an impasse. And this became apparent on many occasions. There was one occasion, Maria, where I approached him at the time when Dr. Karan Singh was a very likely possibility for the president of India, and a very good choice also. But Prakash Karat, his colleague in the CPIM, had put his foot down on the fact that he came from a royal lineage, which Dr. Karan Singh had renounced long ago when he joined democratic politics under the tutelage of Jawaharlal Nehru. So I called Sitaram. And Sitaram said, I absolutely agree with you. This should not be held against him. But he said that it's difficult to reason with perhaps the party position or Mr. Prakash Kara. So he was always open to finding the right solution. I can't tell you what a great loss it is. Not only for me personally, uh, but for the country's public life.
Yes, Mr. Verma, certainly just about every politician that I've spoken to has great memories and has some great words for Comrade Yechury. Of course, it's truly an end of an era. But what next for left politics? That's also the big question. But Mr. Verma, what according to you was the biggest high of Sitaram Yechury's career?
You see, he was a student. After his graduation from St. Stephen's, he went to jail. He emerged as a genuinely popular leader in student politics. And he was a lifelong member of the CPIM. Uh, in my view, the highlight of his political career, if you ask me, was his term as the General Secretary of the CPIM. For once, then, the party had a face that was not charging at windmills, which has definitely had its principles, what was open to conversation, dialogue, talks. And I think that 10 years or whatever of his period of life was his great charm. And by the way, he was genuinely uh, revered or liked very much by the party cadre. He carried them. I mean, when he became a Rajya Sabha MP, he was allotted a house on Firoz Shah Road. He didn't live there. He lived in his own, with his wife and family in their small house in Vasant Kunj and used his official residence for the help of party workers and for his office. I mean, he was a man completely oblivious to ostentation. And that was his main appeal. I mean, I could go to Sitaram and say, and talk to him about anything, from a good joke to poetry to politics, uh, to colleagues to remembrances. And he always had a witty and sharp response.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, Mr. Varma.